Hi there. Now we're going to do lesson 325. All things I think I see reflect ideas. Paragraph 1. This is salvation's keynote. What I see reflects a process in my mind which starts with my idea of what I want. Now, this is really important to understand because the Course in Miracles is really clear. What we see out there is what we want to see. So our mind is choosing what to project out there. And this is really, it can be really uncomfortable when we first realize that everything that we see is coming from within us. But what happens when we get comfortable with that idea is that then you can choose to see what it is that you want. But in the beginning, when we're unconscious, we're seeing oftentimes what we don't want, not knowing it's coming from our mind. But if we're seeing it, it's because our mind is projecting out there what is giving us an opportunity as a call for love. It's an opportunity to see the fears, the judgments, the things inside of us that no longer serve us. So beginning to look at everything out there as what's inside of me is such a powerful, powerful process of this awakening. Sentence number 2. From there, the mind makes up an image of the thing the mind desires, judges valuable, and therefore seeks to find. These images are then projected outward, looked upon, esteemed as real, and guarded as one's own. From insane wishes comes an insane world. From judgment comes a world condemned. So something to understand about this is that if you're seeing a world out there like that is just full of hatred, well, it's our own unconscious hatred projected outward. So if you want to see a loving world, we then have to be the ones that begin to love ourselves enough to see those who are behaving badly and then love on them. Forgive their behaviors. Begin to say, I see the best in you. But if we're judging you bad people, it's because inside of us, we haven't come to the place that we realize, number one, that we're one. We don't realize that we're projecting, and we haven't done our own inner work to make us loving people who can see with forgiving eyes. Well, when we begin to forgive people and we're no longer invested in letting them know how bad they are, we're literally teaching what love is. They begin to change, then before you know it, and of course it's going to take a couple generations that we see a world full of people who are loving because we have made the commitment to change myself, work with my children so that I raise conscious children, then my children raise conscious children, and a couple generations down the road, we are people who are committed to seeing the best because we understand that it's all a projection from within anyways. So this takes time. It's a process. It takes time, but we're being told in A Course in Miracles the steps to get there. Sentence number 6 in paragraph 1. And from forgiving thoughts, a gentle world comes forth with mercy for the Holy Son of God to offer him a kindly home where he can rest a while before he journeys on and help his brothers walk ahead of him and find the way to heaven and to God. Let's use Jesus as an example, the historical Jesus that walked on this earth 2,000 years ago. He was teaching love. He was forgiving people. He was saying, judge not, lest ye be judged. Don't poke at a speck in somebody's eye until you get the log out of your own eye. So over 2,000 years of following Jesus's teaching, there are more people today than were here 2,000 years ago that really embody the Christ consciousness. With the advent of A Course in Miracles, now there's even more people who are walking the talk. The Christ consciousness is coming alive. In essence, the second coming of Christ is happening every single time one of us awakens and realizes we're all one. And we want to see, we want to create a happy dream. We want to see out there what we're beginning to feel in here. And the way we see it out there is because we begin to call that out in other people. Like with my children, once I began to realize that we are one, that I can choose love over fear, my commitment was to speak to the best of them, not to put them down. I got rid of vocabulary that was demeaning. I got rid of inequality. I was superior and them inferior because I was the parent. I began to treat us as equals. And what began to happen is they began to rise to that level of responsibility, of equality, of kindness, of compassion. Totally changed everything because I wanted to change what I was seeing out there by knowing that it was coming from inside of me. Paragraph number 2, which is the prayer. Our Father, your ideas reflect the truth, and mine apart from yours, but make up dreams. Let me behold what only yours reflect, for yours and yours alone establish truth. So once I understood the Course in Miracles that my children and I were one, the hierarchy, parent, child, I began to let go of that because the truth is that God made us equal. We have different roles, but we're still equal. So when I'm beholding the holiness in them, I have to behold it from a place of equality. So as I began to come down from my pedestal and raise them up by seeing their holiness, we began to create amazing relationship with my kids. And I call them my kids because that lets you know that I'm talking about the children that are mine, but they're really my brothers and sisters in Christ. And that's how I wanted to treat them because, as it says here, our Father, your ideas reflect the truth. The truth is we're brothers and sisters, and our souls chose to have this experience. So when I let me behold what only your truth reflects, yours and yours alone establishes the truth of who we are. So I rather see everyone as my holy brother and sister, but I started the practice with my children. That allowed me to see that this stuff really works, and it was powerful. Thanks a bunch, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.